In this video, I am putting every farming sim that I played in 2024 head to head in a bracket, and I've included farming sims that came out in 2024 and older games that, I played during 2024, and I've also included some games that were, they're on the cusp of being an actual farming sim. They might have farming in it, but I kind of added some extra bits in there because I needed some more games for my bracket. But I am very excited to put them head to head and to see which one comes out on top as the best farming sim of 2024, in my opinion, because this is completely biased towards my preferences, my likes and dislikes in a farming sim, and just what I enjoyed the most this year. So you are allowed to judge me based on my choices and what wins against who, but be nice about it and sound off in the comments below about that if you want to. I did a bracket like this last year on the coziest game of 2024, but this year I just stuck to farming sims, but I have a lot of exciting videos for December, so make sure that you subscribe to my channel so I can hopefully hit my goal for the end of the year to get 10k subs. But if I don't hit it, that's okay. I'm very, very thankful for as far as we've come this year. It's really wild to me, so thank you for supporting me. And I'm going on a tangent now, so I'm gonna get right into it. I actually already recorded this intro, but I accidentally didn't have my mic on. So how this is going to work, I'm going to have bracket of games over here, and I have some more here that I'm covering up, and then I'll move my cameras to the other side. But we're going to go through this side first, and you see like this one, Everholm goes against this one, and Immortal Life goes against this one, and then they come out here, and then they kind of keep advancing and advancing and advancing, and I pretty much randomly paired them, but some I had to like move around just because I'm like, that would be too easy. So I tried to make it a little difficult, but not too difficult, but not too easy. So let's just jump right in with Everholm and Garden Witch Life. Everholm is a farming sim with beautiful pixel art that I was really looking forward to this year. And I even had it in like my most anticipated farming sims of the year video. I don't think it was a bad game. I just didn't feel like I got hooked with it. I had some other games I was playing. It's hard to just balance so many games, but I did play it. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. I just didn't really get hooked in. I think the art style is really gorgeous. It's a bit unique in there's no character customization. You play as Lily, I believe, and you are looking for your sister. And you kind of wake up one day and you're just like you're like on this farm and in this town, and you don't know these people, but they all know you and they remember you from like last week and stuff. And the mining is a bit unique because you're kind of in this like underworld area, I think. And I think that's kind of like where the story kind of unfolds more. But this is also an open-ended farming sim, so kind of like Stardew Valley, where it just continues and continues and continues. So I'm curious to see more of this game. I think it's pretty good. I just didn't get too far with it. I played like maybe 3 hours or so and didn't feel super hooked into it. So I wouldn't say it was like my favorite of the year, but what was not my favorite of the year was Garden Witch Life. I felt like that game was just so boring. The pacing was awful, and I have a whole video on Garden Witch Life and my like impressions right after playing it. I played it for like 7 hours or something, and it just wasn't the best game of the year. It had a really horrible launch, especially to the Switch, and it just felt like it was not polished, not enough to do. Things weren't explained. Quests just kind of end, and then you're like, what am I doing? And there's just not like a main goal that you have. And I feel like it's hard to figure out what your own personal goals are in the game, especially when a lot of things aren't explained, and making money was hard. I just didn't love Garden Witch Life, and it's definitely not moving forward in this bracket. I'm sorry. So we're gonna get Everholm to move forward here. Next is Immortal Life and Sunnyside. And Immortal Life, I kept forgetting that it came out in 2024, but it did. I'm pretty sure it did. I checked earlier and I'm still questioning it. But Immortal Life is a Chinese style farming game. It's really pretty graphics. I really like how like the crops look and the farming works, and there's like magic elements to it and a story to it. I don't believe there's romance, but it is unique and it does get a bit grindy later on. It has combat, mining, fishing, farming, all the things that you would have in a typical farming sim, but it is a bit different. And I will say, I don't feel like Immortal Life really hooked me either. I don't think it's a bad game though. I kind of do want to give it another chance. And then there's Sunnyside, which actually, although my opinion changed on Sunnyside, Sunnyside was a really fun game for me for a while. I had a lot of fun riding the bike and being silly. But then it kind of fell flat, literally. I fell flat off my bike. But I feel like after I kind of got over how funny the falling off the bike was, this game just got annoying. Like, I just couldn't progress very quickly because I'm running around constantly. The game is glitchy. Some random stream, it just didn't run on my PC anymore. I just felt like it was poorly optimized. I don't know. I didn't even like really how the devs themselves were talking about their game, and I know that people are saying it's still getting some updates, so that's good, but I just felt like I had a weird experience with Sunnyside. I think it does have potential. It has all these modern farming sim elements, and some things work well together. I don't know. It has the romance. It has like really interesting cutscenes. I will say that customizing your character is pretty good, except for like there's no lipstick, so you look like a dead animal and your lips are just like concealer lips, and I don't like that. But anyway, that's like totally different. I don't know. This is a hard one. I definitely played more Sunnyside and I enjoyed it more for more time, but Immortal Life was like Immortal Life seems like it's a more solid game and complete game, where Sunnyside wasn't early access and kind of felt early access. So I'm gonna go with Immortal Life because I think I would recommend it over Sunnyside. All right, next we have Fields of Mistria and Garden of the Sea. Garden of the Sea technically isn't a new game of 2024, but it is technically a new game of 2024 in the fact that they launched it without the VR being required. So now you can play it on Steam without VR. It's like a first person type of game. I actually really enjoyed this game and I want to play it more. It was really, really cute. I just haven't played it more, to be honest, because my Steam cloud isn't working. Like, it hasn't swapped over Steam, because I played on my PC and I want to play it on my Steam Deck and it just isn't connecting. So I have to figure that out. But I liked it. I thought the animals are so cute in this game. It has good quests. You can kind of figure out what to do on your own. It's not very fetch questy, but it is fetch questy in a way that doesn't feel like fetch questy. And I really liked it. But I absolutely am obsessed with Fields of Mistria. I love it so much. Fields of Mistria launched in early access this year, and it's a really cute pixel art game with just stunning colors. It's very cutesy cozy. It has strawberry cows, which I was so excited about, and the cow breeding and the ranching is so fun. It's not just cow breeding, it's all animals. You have bunnies, capybaras, alpacas. Is it alpaca? Yeah, alpacas. I would mix them up with llamas, and just so many other animals that you can breed different colors of and get a random variant, and it's really fun to work on that. Something I spent a lot of time on. And they also have in Fields of Mistria, just everything's amazing. I just love it. I think the gameplay loop is really good. I think they did well with launching early access. There's so much to do. You can find all these things to work on. They have a really good museum system. They have good romancing system. They have awesome mines. And I'm just so excited to see where this game goes in 2025, where I hope it will have a full release in 2025. I'm just obsessed with the game. It's absolutely one of my favorite games of the year, and it's probably going to go very far in this bracket. So there's no way I'm leaving it behind. Sorry, Garden of the Sea. And then we have Littlewood, which is not a new game, but it was my first time playing it in 2024. And it's not totally a farming sim. It has a lot of foraging, but it has these like farming sim elements. It's just more simplified. It's about like building up your town and a lot of customization and mining and daily tasks, but it kind of functions like a farming sim. So I did include it in this video. And then there's Runefactory 3 Special, which I actually played for the first time this year, but it came out last year. And I think it's a solid game, but I just didn't enjoy it when I played it. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I'm usually somebody who likes Runefactory, but then I think about it, I'm like, maybe I only liked Runefactory 4, and I don't really like Runefactory 5 that much, and I didn't really like Runefactory 3 Special that much, so I don't know what's wrong with me there, but honestly, Littlewood is going to take the cake here. I just think Littlewood is more fun for me. It's simpler for me, and it doesn't have as much combat, although Runefactory does a lot of things really, really well, like, you know, so much dialogue and so much depth with the romancing and stuff like that. I'm just going to let Littlewood go farther because I personally enjoyed it more. And then Forager is a great game, which I'm going to let move forward because it doesn't have anybody against it. Forager is an awesome game that I very much enjoyed, and it's not new for 2024, but it's something I had just laying around in my Steam library that a friend gifted to me, and I really wanted to play it, so I did. And it's got farming, but it's more of a foraging game, obviously, and you can kind of build things up and gives you so many quests and so many things to do, and it's just an awesome fun and addicting game that I really enjoyed, and I talked about in some other videos on my channel this year. All right, we're gonna move up to this next part here. Okay, so Everholm versus Immortal Life. I'm gonna say this is a pretty easy choice for me in a weird way. I feel like Everholm has more potential, like it just has more of a farming sim, classic farming sim feel than Immortal Life, which doesn't make Immortal Life bad. I just kind of like that vibe more. I like the art style more. I have more interest in picking it up again, I think. And so I'm gonna let Everholm kind of move forward just for the sake of that argument. Ooh. I really love Littlewood, but nobody can beat out Fields of Mistria. So Fields of Mistria is moving forward, if I can spell it. And then freaking Forager has to go pretty far here because it doesn't have anybody against it. So Forager's going to move all the way here too. Everholm and Fields of Mistria. I just didn't get into Everholm as much as I could have because I've been so into Fields of Mistria. I've been loving it to death. Even though it's early access, they're doing it so well, and it has so much good potential for the future. I can't wait. It also got its update, which I adored so much. So I'm letting it move forward. All right, so Fields of Mistria versus Forager. Fields of Mistria. So let's see what's going to be against Fields of Mistria. This side is going to be interesting. I feel like I have a lot more spicier games on this side. Very interesting ones. We have Luma Island, which just came out very recently in 2024. I think in November. And I absolutely love this game. Like, it's got to be one of my favorite games of the year. I really like it. It's really fun. I guess I really liked foraging games this year. It's all about crafting, adventure. It does have a big emphasis on the farming with the career that I chose, because you choose a career, you choose a profession, and I chose cooking, and you can like master that. But you can also unlock different biomes around. There's mining. There's a mode to turn on arachnophobia mode because there's big spiders in the mines that I don't like, so I have that on. And it's just a good game. It does not have the life sim elements. It does not have, like, in terms of romancing and really knowing the town and festivals and stuff. It's really like a grindier game with a lot of crafting and making things, and I really, really like it. It's super fun. That one is against Little Known Galaxy, which is another stellar game. So good. And I'm gonna tell you now, it's not gonna make it past Luma Island for me, but Little Known Galaxy is a great pixel art farming game in space, and it has a lot to do, and you can continue playing after main story, but you probably won't because it does follow a really solid like storyline. It does have romancing. I just really, really enjoyed that game a lot this year, and it definitely deserved more hype because it was pretty good and pretty solid. But Luma Island takes the cake for me for this one. So I'm sorry, Little Known Galaxy, you're a great game, but I have to only pick one. And next we have Echoes of the Plum Grove versus Everafter Falls. These are also pretty good games. Echoes of the Plum Grove really made a hit this year. It is a survival farming sim with a Paper Mario art style. So very unique, and they went simple with the art style and the character customization, but this game has like a totally different vibe. You have to, survive. It has a lot of really, really good accessibility options in the menu. You can turn off like a lot of things. You can turn off the fishing mini game, which is really bad. And you can turn off just like, you can keep things on and off if you want. Like if you don't want to go hungry ever, you don't want that to be a way to die, you can turn that off. And so that's really helpful. But I kept all of those on when I played because I wanted to have the full like chaotic experience. You can murder people in this game. You can do what you got to do to survive. And I think a lot of us, especially as content creators, had so much fun playing this game this year and causing chaos. And then there's Everafter Falls, which is I don't even know what to call that art style, but it's an interesting art style. It has like some Animal Crossing elements because all the people that are in the town are animals, and some of them are pretty cute. I don't love this art style though, but this game was actually pretty fun. I played a whole video of it, so check that video out. I played the first season, and after that I didn't really play it much again, but I did enjoy it, and I go over like my pros and cons and stuff at the end of that video. I think it's an enjoyable game. A lot of thought went into it. So much stuff you can collect and donate. It has some interesting combats, but I don't know. It wasn't like my favorite in terms of art style, in terms of the gameplay, but it is fun and it's not a terrible game. But there are some things in the game that I'm like, just wasn't my favorite game. So Echoes of the Plum Grove is going to make it to the next round here. This is like the worst pairing ever. Like, what is this? Stardew 1.6 update I decided to include in this because it is a farming sim I played a lot of this year, and it got that awesome update which just brought so much to the game and made it really, really fun. And I even got the Stardew Valley guidebook. Stardew Valley 1.6 is obviously gonna win this, but Oriental Valley, I returned that game. It is weird. It's just a bunch of like asset packs of different games, different elements of a game you can buy and throw into your game. And it was weird. It made no sense to me and I didn't like it. And then Critter Cove versus Corekeeper. Corekeeper is a game kind of like compared to Terraria. I haven't played Terraria, but I would compare it to maybe Forager or Littlewood in a way. You kind of just like spawn into this game. It's a good game to play with friends, and you just start breaking down these walls and basically building up a base. And there's a lot of combat, there's a lot of exploration, crafting, and just kind of figuring things out as you go. I did enjoy it, but I didn't keep up with it at all. And then there's Critter Cove, which is an early access game that released this year, and it is very fun. It's got similarities to Animal Crossing with the villagers, like the people you can invite to your town. It's a town building game though. I honestly played way more Critter Cove than Corekeeper and had more fun with Critter Cove, as it's just easier for me to understand based on the games I've played before, and it gives you a lot of good quests and things to work on. So I'm gonna go with Critter Cove here. Now back up to the top, Luma Island versus Echoes of the Plum Grove. This is a hard pairing. Echoes of the Plum Grove I probably played more of just because I had more time during the time that it released against, other games that came out, and that one really grabbed my attention. Where Luma Island, I played a lot of, and the game is like popping off. It's doing really well on Twitch, at least. It had like, I think over 200k sales, which is amazing. I don't know how many Echoes of the Plum Grove had, but personally, I think I'm leaning more towards Luma Island. I just really liked Luma Island a lot, and it feels like a game you can kind of jump back into easily, where Echoes of the Plum Grove feels a little more stressful to me without turning off a lot of the options in the menu. So I'm gonna go with Luma Island, but those are both solid games. You should definitely check them out. And then Stardew 1.6 versus Critter Cove. Stardew, this is like very unfair pairing. Stardew is so much more established and has so much more to do, but Critter Cove has a ton to do as well, but it's in early access. And so, you know, it's a little unfair, but Stardew Valley is gonna go further here, and it's not a new game, but yeah. And then Luma Island, I don't know, versus Stardew 1.6.
2 hours later.
I really like Luma Island right now, and it's definitely one of my favorites of the year. I wouldn't say Stardew 1.6 was like my favorite of the year, because I tend to get tired of Stardew and drop it and then like move on, but then it's always a game I come back to, and I probably will always come back to. And Luma Island is like, I'm into that right now, so it's like I could later on be like, oh, what, I liked Luma Island a lot, I don't remember. Like, I don't know. So this is hard. I definitely think Stardew 1.6 has more sticking power, but we're ready for something. I'm definitely ready for something new. Like, I'm ready for Haunted Chocolatier. Do I let Luma Island through? I feel like the people are screaming their heads off right now. Did I enjoy it more than the 1.6 update? I don't know. I think so. I kind of think I did, because when I restarted my save, I didn't really like stick with the Stardew as much. So I'm gonna let Luma Island through. Stop judging me. So I think Luma Island goes all the way through, and our two against each other are going to be Fields of Mistria versus Luma Island. Spicy. I thought it was gonna be Fields of Mistria versus Stardew Valley, to be honest, but like, this is very predictable, right? Like, anybody watching this probably predicted this. Like, what's the point of this video? I don't know, but thanks for watching it. I know the answer to this. It's very easy for me to pick based on release date, how much time I played, how much the game resonates with me personally. I love Fields of Mistria so much. I was gifted Fields of Mistria. Luma Island I paid for myself, but I would have bought Fields of Mistria anyway. Fields of Mistria is even cheaper than Luma Island. It's gonna have the best development ever. It's gonna soar through 2025. It's gonna stick, I think. And it's obviously the winner here, but Luma Island is great too. I think that we ended up with like my two favorite games of the year though. Fields of Mistria and Luma Island. I think they were my favorite of the year. So Fields of Mistria won! Yay! Who would have guessed it? Who would have thought that would happen? I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite farming sim of the year was in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed this little fun silly video and maybe learned about some new games that you haven't heard of, and I will hopefully see you in my next YouTube video. Bye.